And welcome back to another edition of Grind.Music.Repeat. It's your host, DraQuan, Hood Rock TV, whatever y'all like to do with that. I got a special guest all the way from California, y'all. Got Mr. Rick. He go by Sudi.
Karatas. Pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
how are you doing on this morning for you and then this afternoon for me?
Yes, it's still morning, 10 o'clock. I'm doing well, thanks. I'm wide awake and ready to go about my day, and this is a good way to kind of start it.
Yeah, it's a nice way. Okay, speaking of starts, let's for the followers and the listeners that don't know about who you are and stuff like that, let's fill them in a little bit. Give them a little bit of a bio for you.
Sure. I'm actually half Turkish. That's why the Sudi is my Turkish name and Rick is my American name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from New York originally, and I've now been in California 22 years, so I guess I have to say I'm from California. And I do mostly writing. I mean, I do other things as well, but my passion is writing, and I write songs, scripts, and books. We'll talk most about music here, obviously. So, and yeah, I've been writing a long, long time, and but yeah, I guess I'm a Californian now. It's hard to say that. I still have my New York accent, I think, but
okay. So what made you, make the switch from? Because that's two different coasts right there. That's a lot of travel.
Yeah. Well, mostly because I do a little bit of acting also, but not a lot. I do more writing. So I originally came out here to do some more acting, and I ended up getting more interested in writing. So that's really what brought me out here. The acting, but I ended up doing more writing. So
like, where does the passion for writing come from? Was it like a poetic kind of thing starting off, or how do we get there?
That's a good question. I think ever since I was like a little or teenager, I always loved writing. I would write in a book, poems I remember, or I loved music. I always loved music. So I remember, I think I was like 12 or 13 and I'm taking a shower on the shampoo, Johnson's Baby shampoo. It said "No More Tears." I said, "Oh, that's a good song title." As a kid, and I wrote a little song called "No More Tears." So that was probably the first song I ever wrote. Nothing came of it, obviously. And then Donna Summer had a song "No More Tears" many years later. Totally unrelated.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I've always just had a passion for being creative and writing. And I started writing songs first.
Yeah.
And then later on, I wrote sketches and then some books and scripts. So, and some of them intertwine. Like one of my scripts has a lot of original music in it. Who knows? Maybe one of my books will become a musical at some point.
Yeah. That could be a possibility.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility. So, like, as far as like what you write, like the kind of songs you write, or even the books you write, like what's like your criteria for what you want to be understood as far as like the listener or the reader?
Well, I prefer to write things with comedy, because if you get people to laugh, they're more apt to really read it or learn something. So like a book I wrote was called Rainbow Relatives, on speaking to kids about LGBTQ families and friends, but it's done with a sense of humor. So it's not like preaching or anything. It's just, I had a book called How Catering Sucked the Life Right Out of Me. So I do, as an actor, musician, writer, I'm sure a lot of people can relate that are in the music business. They do a lot of them have done catering, I am sure. So they would find that amusing. So, but I like to, entertain people. And if they can learn something or move them, make them laugh, or, sometimes make them cry. I am definitely a Gemini, because I'll write something really funny one day and something really sad the next. So that's my two personalities.
Okay, Gemini. Okay, I'm a Libra myself.
Okay, what month? That's when's that?
October.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, as far as like your style of writing, beyond like as far as like humor, like, is there like a certain kind of like influence that kind of use that to create your style?
I like writing. I like writing story songs. So I write a lot of country songs for some reason, and also a lot of Christmas songs I write. I get a lot of ideas for Christmas songs. And I think the storytelling comes from, I have been a lifetime Dolly Parton fan. And she is, I think, one of the best songwriters. And since I was a kid, I loved her music. So I love songs that, like, hers tell stories. So I like those kind of songs, and I try to write those. But I also write, whatever idea comes to me is what I write. So, I mean, I ended up writing a song called Midnight Will Be Clear. And that was a kind of a Christmas song about a guy who quits drinking, New Year's resolution. And this year, Christmas is the first time in a long time that midnight will be clear. And his favorite song is It Came Upon a Midnight Clear.
Yeah.
So people now think I'm in AA, which I'm not. I just write whatever the
Yeah.
story is that comes to me.
Yeah.
Um, and take it from there. But I tend to write, so that's kind of a story song also. But then I
Mhm.
also write tribute songs to, well, not
Yeah.
always, but I wanted to write a tribute song for Olivia
Mhm.
Newton-John,
Yeah.
because I was a big fan of hers. So when she passed away, I wrote
Mhm.
a song called Her Spirit Lives On. And we're going
Mhm.
to donate the proceeds from iTunes and stuff to her charity, the Olivia Newton-John Foundation. And
Mhm.
Adrian Christian sings the
Yeah.
song, does a great job on it. And he's doing a
Yeah.
couple other tribute songs for her that we're going to
Yeah.
put out. So some of them, that's kind of good to be able to, again, you don't make much money from the Spotify and the iTunes to
Yeah.
give to
Right.
these
Yeah.
charities, but at least if I can give a little something, and it's a good cause.
Yeah.
I also wrote a song about Alzheimer's called
Mhm.
I Won't Forget What You Don't Remember.
Mhm.
And so everyone thinks my mother has Alzheimer's now because I did a video. I do videos to some of my songs, which I really like.
Okay.
But that
Yeah.
one, we're going to donate the proceeds to, I think it's called AFA, Alzheimer's
Mhm.
Foundation of America,
Yes.
and from iTunes and Spotify. So I just write whatever the story is or the song.
Mhm.
I also wrote a tribute song for Donna Summer after she
Yeah.
passed away, with
Mhm.
David Sanchez. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I don't, yeah, I don't write just one kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, I like to be a little bit same with, I listen to all kinds of music too. I don't just
Mhm.
like one kind of music.
Yeah. I'm the same way with that. Like I think it's beautiful that like you can use your gift and your art, and then you can find different ways to give back to people that maybe not as fortunate. I want to clap for you on that. That's commendable right there. You find certain kind of artists that can depict what your writing is. How does that process work out?
Yeah, yeah. So I always say it's always better if someone else sings my songs, another artist. Because I can carry a tune if it's not too heavy. I say, but
Yeah.
I'm not
Mhm.
really a singer or musician. Even
Mhm.
musician, I don't. I write the
Yeah.
lyrics. I'll come up with a melody, but someone else has to figure the chords out
Mhm.
and stuff. But I had a few artists, I mean, not big artists, but
Mhm.
record some of the songs I wrote. Patrick
Mhm.
Basile, oh, not to say
Okay.
he's not a big artist, I don't mean to be,
Yeah.
but he had me write lyrics to 3 songs and he put the music to it and put it on his albums.
Mhm.
But,
Yeah.
my goal is to have, even some country artists or others record my songs or get in films or TV
Mhm.
shows, some
Yeah.
of the songs. But always better to have other artists singing it. But I'm not sure if you were asking, do I have certain artists in mind when I'm writing the songs?
Yep, that's
Yeah.
the question
So
too.
right,
Yep.
okay. So, no,
Mhm.
not really,
Mhm.
although not usually. I just write whatever the song idea comes
Mhm.
and then think who might be good for the song.
Yeah.
But I did a couple, like, 7 years ago, Tanya Tucker was looking for songs for a very personal
Mhm.
album, and Brandy
Yeah.
Carlisle ended up producing that album, but she was looking for a very
Mhm.
personal song, so I actually wrote a song I sang for Daddy, because
Yeah.
her father was her manager. He gave her,
Mhm.
she had her first hit song at 13 years old,
Yeah.
and so I wrote a song that I thought she could relate to and would wanna sing. I don't know if it ever got to her, but it's
Yeah.
a nice song called I Sang for Daddy, but so that I specifically wrote,
Mhm. Yeah.
with her in mind, but usually that's not the case, yeah.
Mhm. So, like, if you don't have nobody in mind, or let's say, like, you would just pick something that you could kinda understand as far as, like, see from the outside looking in, even if you ain't going through it in your life.
Right. Yeah,
Mhm.
some stuff I guess you write from experience, or, when my
Mhm.
dad passed away, I wrote a song When It Really Hits Home. So that
Yeah.
was a very personal song. And
Mhm.
but I tried to write it where other people would relate to it, anyone that's lost a parent or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of times I just use my imagination, where I observe people, you get
Mhm.
ideas from observing people. Usually the ideas come when I'm like half asleep,
Yeah.
or if I'm on the treadmill or something, I'll get an idea. Or if
Mhm.
I'm driving, I'm always doing something. I feel like when an
Mhm.
idea pops in my head, I rarely just sit down, okay, let me think of something to write. I don't need
Yeah.
to. I have all these ideas
Yeah.
coming at me at all hours of the day and night. Yeah, so it's not always from personal experience, but I
Mhm.
do observe a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and I get title ideas. I usually start with a title. I don't know if
Mhm.
most songwriters, I think a lot do, but not always.
Mhm.
Maybe a theme, but a lot of times I'll just think of a title and it's, oh, that's a good
Mhm.
title.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so,
So how would you compare like songwriting to like when you're writing a book?
well, it's a little easier because it's quicker. Like a song is
Mhm.
3 minutes,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it might take a couple hours, but it could take, go back and forth for a week and
Mhm.
keep rewriting.
Yeah.
Rewriting is rewriting, as they say.
Yeah. It is.
So books take a little longer because I think my books are 200 something pages. I wrote 3 books. I never thought I would write one book, but I
Dang.
wrote 3. The new one is called Fork Social Media, and the
Okay.
algorithm it wrote in on jailbird stories. So
Mm.
people have been banned and restricted on
Okay.
Facebook. I got all these funny
Yeah.
stories from. But so and the scripts are 90 to 120 pages.
Mhm.
So those take the longest. So the easiest, but nothing's easy to write. Well,
Mhm.
in some ways, I do feel like writing is easy. It's the getting
Mhm.
it out there that's the hard part.
Oh,
You
man.
write the script, but then getting it made.
Yeah.
I have like 12 scripts I've written. One got made that we made Walk a Mile in My Pradas with Tom
Mm.
Arnold and Dee Wallace and Bruce Valanche, and that's still on Amazon Prime, even though
Okay.
we made it like
Amazon Prime?
10 years ago. And there's
Yeah.
actually a song I wrote that plays in the credits called All Kinds of Love that Karen Mason sings. She's a Broadway
Mhm.
star. So that was kind of fun to have that included in the
Okay.
movie. But so yeah, to answer the question, is I think you said which is the easiest or what's the difference with songs are a
Yeah.
little bit quicker
Mhm.
and I think I enjoy that. And because that's what I started with too. I started writing songs first and I never thought I'd write other things. The only thing I don't write, I realize, is checks. I don't write checks anymore, but I write
Okay.
everything else,
All right.
both scripts.
That was nice right there. So as far as like writing books or just writing in general, what are some challenges that you have faced?
Um, well, the biggest one is once it's written, again, getting it out there, getting a publisher. I got a
Mhm.
like what do you call it? A traditional publisher for the first book, Rainbow Relatives.
Mhm.
Then the second two I self-published through Ingram Spark. But
Okay.
yeah, actually, the process of writing is,
Mhm.
I guess, well, sometimes I'll have the time because I'm not working as much that week, but it's
Mhm.
having the energy. It's like, all right, I have the
Yeah.
time now, but I find it's best when I do it earlier in the day. Whatever I'm doing that way, you know, I think the mind
Mhm.
is fresh and I don't even drink coffee, so I don't know how my mind is fresh in the morning. But um, so um, what was the question again?
Like as far as like challenges, like
Oh,
me.
right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, in writing. Like I said, I don't have a challenge of thinking of ideas. Those like some people
Mhm.
get writer's block. I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever had writer's block. I mean, sometimes I
Okay.
might be writing something and I'll be a little stuck with where the scene should go,
Mhm.
or a lot of times they'll say the second verse in a song is the harder verse
Yeah.
to write because you don't want to repeat what you said in the first verse. You
Yeah.
want to move it forward.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's probably always a challenge a little bit for
Mhm.
everybody, including
Yeah.
me. Um, and for me, the challenge with music especially is melodies because I'm more of a
Mhm.
lyricist and I'm not a
Yeah.
musician.
Okay.
So I'll come up with melodies sometimes, but that's something I really need to work on a lot more. And sometimes
Mhm.
I'll co-write with someone. Like the song when Donna sang Last Dance, there was a tribute to
Mhm.
Donna Summer. David
Mhm.
Sanchez did the music to that one, and we
Yeah.
both did the lyrics. So it's probably better when someone else helps with the melody, but sometimes I'll
Yeah.
come up with a good melody. But somebody else has to figure out, the chords and stuff because I only play a tiny bit of guitar, not enough to say
Mhm.
so. And
Yeah.
so that's the biggest challenge probably is and melody is very, very important. As much as I'd like to say
Yeah.
the lyrics are more important or
Mhm.
as important,
Melody. Yeah.
melody I learned is much more important. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah. Because as an artist, a challenge that I've seen, like I've noticed that sometimes my second verse is better than my first verse. And then so sometimes I gotta kind of trick myself into thinking that my second verse is my first verse, and then I probably write another second verse, and
right.
then that kind of thing like that. So that's it's I think it's universal. It go around the world. Everybody
Yeah.
deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people do that. They end up taking the second verse and making it the first verse, and then they have to
Mhm.
come up with a whole new second
Yeah.
verse.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as like your style of writing and the way you create, is there anybody that you model your craft after?
Well, I mentioned Dolly Parton before just because I think
Mhm.
she's an amazing songwriter and the way she
Yeah.
tells. I mean, I thought Billy Joel was a great songwriter.
Mhm.
I tend to know the older artists because I'm
Yeah.
older. You
Yeah.
know, I probably know a few of the newer ones, but not too many. So I think I was influenced more by, which is also a challenge. Oh, okay, I'm going back to
Mhm.
your last question.
Yeah.
Biggest challenge is trying to write current stuff and not stuff that I grew, style of the stuff I grew up with, or
Oh, okay.
you know what I
Okay.
mean. So
Yeah.
because I loved certain music in the '70s and '80s and '90s,
Mhm.
but the music today sounds much different. So if I'm writing in
Yeah.
that style or whatever, it's not
Mhm.
going to get played. So that's
Yeah.
a huge, huge challenge.
Mhm. It is.
Um, and there's probably other writers and stuff that I
Mhm.
uh, like but definitely the singer songwriters. I think maybe
Mhm.
even you know not John Denver actually was big in the '70s and he
Mhm.
wrote a lot of his songs, and they were just nice songs about environmental things or
Yeah.
things like that.
Mhm.
Um, I like simple sometimes too, like
Mhm.
a vocalist with a guitar, singer songwriter.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I like those. But I like a lot of different kinds. I like dance music, some dance music too. That's why it was fun to
Okay.
write the tribute song to Donna
Yeah.
Summer because we did do
Yeah.
it in her style and with a
Mhm.
little nostalgic feel to it.
Yeah.
Collaborati sang that.
Mhm.
But I don't normally write dance songs, but I do have some
Right.
ideas for some, and those are fun, you know.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's nice. Especially like, sometimes like it's life get hard on us and stuff like that, and we need something to be able to relax and recognize we still got a chance, and it's all right. Don't take everything so serious.
Well, I say, my dreams or my passions or what I'm trying to
Yeah.
do with all my scripts and my music. I said
Hmm.
I may not make it or I may not be
Yeah.
as successful as I want to be, but I'm going to die
Hmm.
trying. Like
Yeah.
I'm not giving
Okay.
up. It's what I love to
Yeah.
do, and I don't think anyone who does well. Again, everyone has to do what's best for them. But if you give
Hmm.
yourself a time limit, I'm going to try this until this time, or if you really
Yeah.
want to do it, just keep
Yeah.
doing it. Just keep
Yeah.
going.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's great motivation. So as far as like what like inspires you to keep creating, like what's that passion, that drive, like that this excitement that you have.
It's just I feel like it's just something I have to do. Like
Mhm.
it's like I don't have a choice. I feel
Mhm.
my creativity, my choice. No, my body,
Mhm.
my choice. No, my mind, my choice. I don't know.
Mhm.
No, I feel like it's something that I have to let it out. Like even
Yeah.
I do other side things to make money. Like I said, the
Mhm.
catering, I
Yeah.
do some commercial and film work, SAG, and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Because I would love to make money just doing the writing and a full career
Mhm.
in that, but that's as everyone knows, it's really hard.
Yeah.
But to not do that, like
Mhm.
I would keep doing it. And I'll go back to Dolly Parton. She's 78.
Mhm.
She's a millionaire. She doesn't
Yep.
need to write anymore, but she's constantly putting new stuff out and constantly
Mhm.
doing
Yep.
projects and
Mhm.
because she loves it. And I think that's how you stay
Mhm.
young. That's how you stay energetic. Because
Yeah.
I'll be 84 next week. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
um, but yeah, I think it's something I feel like I have to do because I have so many
Mhm.
ideas and it's frustrating to not be able to do it full
Yeah.
time or not to get as many. It's not like my books are on the best New York Times bestseller
Mhm.
list,
Yeah.
but the people that get the book seem to like it. It gets good reviews and stuff. And my hometown library in Syosset,
Mhm.
Long Island has
Yeah.
Rainbow Relatives that I wrote in their library. So that
Mhm.
there's little things
Yeah.
that, some people look at success as one thing, like you had a number one
Mhm.
hit on
Yeah.
the radio, then
Uh-huh.
you're successful. And I think there's so many
Yeah.
little successes we can
Mhm.
celebrate. Um, so
Okay. Yeah. It's like little small steps. Like with myself, sometimes like I like to put nice days together in a row. I like to stack them up and then just try to eliminate those downfalls or those down days and stuff like that. And then whatever you building towards, it can still happen.
yeah,
That's the
I
build
like
out.
that. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but before we get into your charitable contributions, let's step in. Take me to that side of like the commercial and the film side of the things that you do on the side.
Yeah.
Just a little run through.
Yeah. I do some background work, SAG background work on some
Mhm.
films and TV shows and things like that. I actually was
Mhm.
in the Menendez brothers story, Lyle and Eric. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh,
So I was a juror on that. Not that you see me, I'm in the back row to the left, but my niece, I didn't
okay.
even tell her I was in it. She goes, I saw you on that show. I'm like,
On FX.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that was fun. We
Okay.
worked on it like
Okay.
4 or 5 days, and Vicki Lawrence, who I loved from the
Hmm.
Carbonette show, was the head
Yeah.
juror. So there I was
Hmm.
working kind of with Vicki Lawrence, which was like
Yeah.
amazing. So I do some of that kind of work,
Hmm.
commercial work. Again, a lot of times it's
Hmm.
background, but sometimes principal.
Yeah.
Um, I did like a Super Bowl commercial where, again, you hardly see me, but
Hmm.
it was a principal role for a Mercedes commercial. So,
Yeah.
and those pay a lot more than the writing does usually.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
those are fun to do. And I do, some catering on the side for a few caterers,
Hmm. Yeah.
which in my book, How Catering Sucked the Life Right Out of Me,
Yeah.
which I should make into a musical. It'd be
Right.
funny. But, there's some good caterers I still will work for because they're good to work for.
Hmm.
Katie Chin, Walkstar Catering. She's great. I'll give her a shout out.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and so, uh, yeah, but it's, yeah, a tough road, but I like it.
Okay. So as far as like just the writer aspect, like how you said, like it's not always the most profitable and stuff like that. So how could you turn around and then just give all of the proceeds to those foundations like that?
Yeah, well, it's what I'm doing is for a couple of
Mhm,
the songs. So, since I did the tribute song for Olivia Newton-John, we
mhm,
wanted to donate any proceeds that come from iTunes or Spotify or whatever
mhm.
to the foundation. But it,
Yeah.
I wish. Well, I try to let people know so more people will download the song so we can give more money
Mhm.
because you don't. You
Yeah.
have to get, as you
Mhm.
probably know,
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
streams to even make it anything.
Yeah.
So it's like so far we've just gotten a little bit, but I want to. We want to. Me and Adrian want to donate all the proceeds from the one single, "Her
Mhm,
Spirit Lives On." That's the name of the song,
mhm,
to her foundation,
mhm.
and the other. And so, I mean, I don't do this for all my songs,
Yeah, of course.
and the ones I
Yeah.
again, very little comes in from you know any
Mhm.
of them really because it's
Yeah.
streaming now. Like, wait,
Yeah.
like maybe 20 years ago,
Mhm.
that you could make more. Um, the other song that I wrote for Alzheimer's, again, thought it would be nice to give those proceeds. And at the time, my
Mhm.
friend was doing some work with AFA, Alzheimer's
Yeah.
Foundation of America, so that's why I picked them to
Okay. Okay.
give to them. So
That
it's
was my
not like
next question.
it's not like I'm able to even give a lot to them, but at the same time,
Mhm.
it's not like I'm losing
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
that I'm giving up. But those are the two. I'm trying to think if I've done some more. I think those are the two that I just because they were close to me.
Mhm.
Olivia, love Olivia, like
Yeah.
Dolly and Olivia. That's I know those are my
Mhm.
two favorites.
Yeah.
Um, and then the Alzheimer's one's just because it was a song about that. It could be dementia
Mhm.
too, I suppose. But
Yeah.
I did a really
Mhm.
nice video, which is on YouTube for that,
Mhm.
with Bunny Levine plays my
Okay.
mother in the music video.
Yeah.
She's like 96 now. She was 92 when we did the video, and she
Mhm.
was in my movie Walk a Mile in My Prada. She played Sister
Yeah.
Betty. She was like in her
Yeah.
80s when we did that. And she's on Jimmy Kimmel all the time. She's in that movie Thelma that's out now. She
Mhm.
has a nice role in that. She's like
Yeah.
working more than uh, anybody I know and stuff, and she's just still
Yeah.
going strong. She inspires me. That's somebody
Okay.
who inspires me.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it's a powerful thing, like in this time in this world where we can still give back, like rather than just all want it for ourselves and stuff like that. And I can see like the respect and the demeanor that you have, like that caring, loving person. And is that something that's always been there, or is that something you had to learn? Because people ask me that a lot. Like, Dre, was you always this cool, or did you grow into this, or yeah.
I think Well, I think part of it you learn learned from parents in school. I think there was
Mhm,
looking back on some of the way I treat people or even
mhm,
or look at things, I think came from my elementary school. I feel like I like
yeah,
things I don't even remember learning, but I must have learned it then. I
mhm.
feel I've always been, although as I get older, I'm not as patient as I used to be, especially in this world lately. It's like, I feel like I used to be very quiet, very shy, and I
Mhm,
was. A lot of people would comment how nice I was and this and that, and
yeah,
I feel like if when I'm driving in LA traffic, they would be like, "What happened to that person?"
yeah,
Oh, that's another book I want to write: "Idiots on the Road," and just all
yeah,
the crazy things. And so that might be my fourth or fifth book, but
yeah,
yeah. So I think it's something that partly I think you mostly learn, but there's
mhm,
probably some inner things, and you
yeah,
wonder where some people learned how to act or treat people.
yeah,
Sometimes it's like, well,
right,
you didn't learn. Like,
mhm,
they're just clueless
yeah,
but I think, and then again, I thank you for, I do, it's not like I have a lot to give back or give,
mhm,
one day maybe,
yeah,
but, yeah, I never liked people that just take, and they don't give
mhm,
back. And I
yeah,
always, in the back of my mind, let me make sure I'm not being one of those people that, because you sometimes have to ask people for help or ask for
yeah,
things,
you
but I
do,
never want to be those people that, I want to be able to do something back though if I ask for a favor or something.
mhm, yeah,
And it just amazes me. Some people, they're just, so
mhm,
selfish and narcissistic. And
yeah,
yeah.
okay, okay. So,
Speaking of Elon
w
Musk, no, I'm kidding.
you got me with that one. Okay, so what would you say is one of your best achievements or accomplishments?
One of them would be the movie Walk on My Pradas, just because that was a
Mhm,
full feature and we got it made and it was on
yeah,
Netflix for a couple of years and all that. So that
mhm,
was a huge, and that took me like 8 years from start to finish to get that
mhm,
project
yeah,
made. So that I would say was one of the ones. The second would
mhm,
be probably the book Rainbow Relatives, because that took me five
mhm,
years to write.
yeah,
And I think it's helping a lot of parents and or not teachers, parents, but on how to speak to kids about
mhm,
LGBTQ families, friends, and topics. So I think it's a
mhm,
very timely book, and it's helping people, and it's done with a sense of humor though. There's because
Mhm.
so it entertains, but people can really get a lot out of it. So that
Yeah,
really, and it's my first book I ever wrote, so that was kind of,
yeah,
and hopefully I'm working on other scripts. I mean, I have the
yeah,
scripts written, and hopefully I can say next year
yeah.
because I'm trying to shoot
Mhm.
a movie in Nashville, Tennessee, with a lot of original um, country music in it. So
Okay.
hopefully that will be one of my next. But I've been trying to
Mhm.
do that for a long
Yeah,
time. But hopefully
yeah,
this year will be the year. Knock on wood. I don't know if this is wood,
yeah,
but whatever this
yeah.
is, I'm going to knock on it.
We'll accept it. It'll be wood today.
Yeah. So knock on wood.
Mhm,
What I'm sure there's other small things that accomplishments.
mhm,
Anytime I get, even that the Olivia and John tribute song that Adrian Christian
mhm.
recorded, that I really am very proud of that,
Yeah,
um, and my song Midnight Will Be Clear that he recorded.
mhm. Yeah,
Um, and some of my Christmas videos. I have a video called "All I Want for Christmas Is You Gone."
yeah,
I took Mariah Carey's title of the song we're so
yeah.
sick of hearing every year, and I added the word "gone" to it and made a totally separate song. Has nothing to do with her
Mhm.
song, but about a
Yeah.
breakup song from a narcissist. So,
Dang.
and we are the video won a couple of awards at some film festivals in New York and California.
Okay.
So that was kind of a yeah. So
Mhm.
again, these aren't huge things. Like
Yeah.
I can't say I won an Oscar or Emmy or anything like that.
Mhm.
But those are the little things that those little rewards also keep you going.
Yeah.
You feel
Mhm.
like you put out the stuff, you put out the stuff,
Yeah.
you're working, writing. So
Mhm.
those little small festivals and you win some kind of award, it's kind of nice.
Yes. A win is a win.
Right.
Okay. It's always better than
True.
the win than it
Yeah.
is to lose. Like me personally, like I I hate losing just as much as I love winning. Like so it's an aspect or like and we try to be prepared, meticulous, and then that way whatever the result is, we can accept it.
Yeah.
That's the way I govern myself.
Now
Yeah.
sometimes when you lose at something, it's for a reason, and later
Mm,
on it turned into
yeah.
something better.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
yeah.
Yes.
Actually, there's a song by Garth Brooks. I don't know if you know it, called
Hmm.
Unanswered Prayers.
Okay.
It was a big hit, but it's about he wanted this girl in high school and he never got
Hmm.
her. But he
Yeah.
realizes years later it's because who he married was much better. And he looks
Hmm.
back and so it was an
Yeah.
unanswered prayer, but what came was even better, kind of thing. So
Hmm.
it's a
Yeah.
good way to look at things.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And then we're back here on Grind Music and Repeat. Um, so like as far as like upcoming events or releases, what's no wait before we get out of here, like as a writer, how do you make sure you get your proper credits on your work? What's some of those kind of pieces of that process?
I don't know if you mean copyright and stuff like that, or
Or as far as like the writer credits, like when you turn around and well you could used to look at the back of the CD, but it's all digital now, and then you can
all
see
right.
the people that contributed and stuff like that. How do you, as far as like, well, you ain't got to give them the secrets or nothing like that, but as far as like, how do you track that down and make sure that you get your just due off of that?
Oh well, I'm not sure. Like as far as the you copyright it and also whatever it is, but also there's
Hmm.
I don't know if you mean this, like DistroKid distributes like
Hmm.
some of my songs, and so they
Yeah.
keep track of again Spotify and iTunes and things
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
So, but you have to register it, I guess, and
Yep.
so I
Yeah.
do all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And with the obviously the scripts or the films, it's in the credits on IMDb. IMDb. I don't know if
Hmm.
there's like an IMDb for music, kind of like a
Yeah.
maybe there is like or not IMDb, but something similar
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, I want to make sure I get credit where credit is due.
Dude. Yeah.
So, but yeah, and some people are always afraid of people stealing their ideas or music.
Hmm.
I think that happens a lot less than people think. But if
Yeah.
you save it, also save it on your computer, or even if you post it on a certain day, it
Hmm.
shows that you posted it on that date. So if
Yeah.
someone tries to say they wrote it a year later, you're like,
Hmm.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I try to do, especially with the songs I co-write,
Mhm.
for that Donna Summer song with David Sanchez that I wrote.
Yeah.
But that's all, it's registered and stuff, I guess is what.
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah.
it's hard to keep track. I mean, even with all that, I'm sure it's hard
Yeah.
to get everything that's supposed to come to you.
Right.
That's the way
Trying
the
to check
music
it all day.
business
Yeah.
is.
It's different. So like as far as upcoming events, you say you're trying to do something in Nashville with a lot of country music, and you say you might be working on Idiots on the Road.
Maybe, yeah, I
What
forgot
what
about that until that came up. But it's and that's one of the kind of in the background. But yeah, I have a movie called Charlie's Dream. Jolie Fisher wants to direct it. We're looking to
mhm.
attach talent and get investors, which is
Yeah,
the biggest challenge.
right.
Um, so that working towards. I have a new music video and song called "Singing Under the Influence" (SUI).
Okay.
About someone singing drunk karaoke. Someone who never in a
Okay.
million years sing karaoke. He ends up on stage after a few drinks. We just
Yeah.
did a really fun video for that Carla Guy directed and edited,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it actually won an award at the Culver City Film Festival
Hmm.
last month.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be released mid to late January
Hmm.
on YouTube, and the single will be on, uh, Spotify and iTunes.
Yeah.
So it's called, SUI, Singing Under the Influence.
Hmm.
And we have another song, maybe in a couple months, we did a video also called A Grain of Salt
Yeah.
and a Margarita. But that one's
Mm.
about taking unwanted advice from people with a
Right.
grain of salt and a
Yes.
margarita. So it's a
Yeah.
fun, for some reason, I don't drink a lot, but I
Hmm.
write a lot of drinking songs.
Yeah.
And I co-wrote those last two with artist Olson. We wrote a whole bunch
Hmm.
of drinking songs.
Yeah.
So those things are on the horizon, I guess. And I'll be I think those are the two main things.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, my book that came out like 6 months ago, I'm still promoting a little bit for social media.
Yeah.
Um, and on the 19th, I have a book signing in Northridge at the Open
Okay.
Book store. But other than that, yeah, I'm trying to keep writing, and
Hmm.
hopefully get some more stuff
Yeah.
out there. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, okay, as a like, what's a person, somebody that like from all time, like you wish that you could write a song for them? Who would you choose?
Oh. Um, well, the country stuff, it'd be cool. Maybe Tim McGraw, because he has a lot of
Mhm.
big hits, or
Yeah.
um, and he has more of the sound. Like I said, I tend to write more. The
Hmm.
new country stuff, I can't. It's more rock or
Hmm.
whatever. But who else? I mean, obviously, you want to find someone that's having
Yeah.
hits now.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to think who's really big right now.
Yeah.
Um, uh, who? And also, they don't write their own songs. If they already write their own songs, it's hard
Yeah.
to get to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think some of my songs fit like Kenny Chesney. I have a song called
Okay.
"The Only Way to Live Is to Die with a Tan." I mean, does
Okay.
that not scream Kenny Chesney's song to you?
So by the beach.
Yeah, I did a video to that one too. Yeah, "The Only Way to Live
Yeah.
Is to Die with a Tan."
Mhm.
Although, I guess I used to get really tan, but I don't tend to
Yeah.
go in the sun as much as I used to.
Yeah.
Um, and we really shouldn't get too much sun because of but
Hmm. Yeah.
anyway. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's a good question. Uh, you want to get someone who's still having hits, and a lot of the people I
Yeah.
have in mind, they don't play their music as much anymore.
Hmm.
Like I
Yeah.
mentioned, even Garth Brooks before, but he wrote a lot of his own stuff. And
Yeah.
um, oh, Brad. Well, no, not Brad Paisley. Sorry, but I wouldn't mind having Brad Paisley in my movie, actually.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah.
And Charles Eston, I want in my movie, and Kevin Bacon in my movie, and
Okay.
who else? Even Clint Black, I have in mind, possibly.
Hmm.
But anyway, that's a great. Thank you for that question, because that's what
Yeah.
I'm going to think of now and try to
Hmm. There
get
you
my
go.
songs to those
Yep.
people. Yeah. So,
That's it right there. Cause that's a part of the grind aspect that we think of. Sometimes it's like where we find our true greatness is we gotta actually be it to see it. Cause sometimes like we ain't gonna have exactly what we want in our lives, but we can try to turn away into like where we can manifest that through
yep.
ourselves. And then that's how we build, and that's how we stay powerful and peaceful. Cause there
Yes.
is power in peace. Yes.
We
Yes.
definitely need more peace in this
Yeah.
world.
We do. We do.
I'm
So,
sure I've written. Well, I'm sure we've all written a song with that theme somewhere. I
mhm,
think I have one
yes.
somewhere,
Yeah.
but it's like a. That's funny. When I was like 17, I wrote a song called "Is It Just a Dream?" But that's what it was about.
Mm,
Like at 18 or 17, I was thinking, "There's all these wars going on, all this fighting, and this is
yeah.
40 years ago. Why
Mhm,
is that? Why can't we just all come together?" And I wrote this
yeah.
song, and I didn't know anything about writing then. If I went back and
Mhm,
looked at it, I'd find a million things wrong with the
yeah.
song, but it was way ahead of its time for a 17-year-old. Is it
Yeah.
just a dream? Will it ever come true? It's up to me. It's up to
Mhm,
you. Let's all get together and, make it a more peaceful world. That was the
yeah.
theme of the song. 40
Mhm,
years ago, and that still applies today.
yeah.
Nothing
It
changes.
does.
Nothing changes.
It does. Probably, I think maybe more now than ever.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
It seems like
Yeah.
it gets worse, not better. And it's not even like
Yeah.
it used to be like ups and downs or
Mhm. Yeah.
good times, bad times, good times. Now it just seems
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. So on the end of Grind Music and Repeat, we like to send out love and motivation. Is there anybody you want to send some love and motivation to?
oh wow, everybody. Well, not everybody. Everybody that that didn't vote for something orange. No, uh, yeah, just all my friends, or anyone who's who have been there for me. I really
Mhm,
appreciate the people that come to the screenings of the
mhm,
music videos, or that support the music, or they're
mhm,
just there. So
mhm.
love to all of them. That
Yeah,
the four fans that I have. Oh my goes out
yeah.
to no, it's really nice when certain people are really supportive. Because sometimes it's funny. I just say, like, a lot of people think I'm really funny, except my family. They don't
Mhm.
think I'm funny at all. Or
Yeah.
sometimes, they're supportive, but sometimes a total stranger
Mhm.
is even more supportive or more there for your
Yeah.
things, or they're not as critical. I guess I think
Mhm.
family, that because they know you so well.
Yeah, they know you so
Yeah,
well. It's like,
yeah. So
Jerry Seinfeld, he told a joke on the show, and it was like it's like watching two magicians do tricks. And one pulled a rabbit out the hat, and the other one's like, "So, like, I can do that."
right.
Like,
That's a great show, Seinfeld.
yeah. Mhm. Okay, so before we get up out of here, can we can you give them a location or a website to where they can find like some of your books and your
Yeah.
work? Like that?
So our website is www.sudirick.com,
Mhm. Yeah.
SUDIRICK.com, Sudi Rick.
Mhm.
I have a YouTube channel. I think it's under Sudi Karatas. So
Oh,
SUDI and then Karatas. But
mhm.
Sudi's pretty uncommon. So if you put
Yeah.
Sudi in, I should pop up.
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook under Sudi Rick Karatas. Yeah, Sudi is my
Mhm.
Turkish name. Rick is my
Yeah.
American name.
Car
Um,
harsh.
and I'm a
Okay.
Gemini, so I have two
Yeah.
personalities, so a name for each one.
Man. Yeah.
I think I'm on Instagram too under Sudi Rick Karatas, I believe.
Okay.
Not on the X or the TikTok. I got rid of
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. It get
Um,
wild up there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So those are the ways, and I guess if you Google Sudi, it'll come up. But
Mhm.
yeah, and the books are in on Amazon, and some Barnes and Noble and things like that.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then the songs are on iTunes and Spotify. I have a channel too under
Yeah.
Sudi Karatas. So
Mhm.
Sudi Karatas.
Mhm.
I'll bet you I'm the first Sudi you've had on and last on your show.
I'm talking about. I was trying. I could say the Sudi, and then it was like, okay, how you gonna say the next part? And then
and,
it's
and the
car.
last name, yeah, there's no
Yeah.
H at the end of it
Uh-huh.
technically, so no one could
Yeah.
get it from looking at it. But in
Right.
Turkish, there's a S with a little thing on it, which
Mhm.
makes it a sh sound. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah.
so if you said Karatas, that would be close
Mhm.
enough.
Okay. 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 Well, it was amazing to sit here with you and talk about some of your work, especially like your charitable contributions. The way you love Donna Summer and Dolly Parton, and then your influences within them, and then to hear about some of your works as far as outside of music, as far as like writing the books and stuff like that. This is amazing, and I'm gonna make sure I give you that follow on Instagram. That's what I would do.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, and this was
Yeah.
great. I appreciate you having me
Yeah.
on. It was fun.
Mhm. It's amazing. So I thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
the end of that's what we doing. Thank you.